Yo, 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 what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? We are back, third intermission on the air. It's your boy Avery right now in the host chair, and I am joined by the queen of the podcast, one Miss Marsha Joseph. Marsha, what's going on?
We are out here. It is cold. It feels like Alberta. But what
Yo,
can you do? What can you do? But
honestly, this is the time of year, Marsha, where people try to say, "Oh, at least it's on some. At least in summertime. At least you can put more layers on to keep warm." Like
I know.
what?
I know. Honestly, I'm one of those people. So I can't really say anything, but at least I complain whether it's too hot or it's too cold. So you can't come for me because I'll complain for both. But
I don't know. I would I'll take a sweat any day as opposed to freezing. I will sweat all day long as opposed to being cold. I'll
a
take that.
true Caribbean man. A
You're
true
right.
Caribbean man.
No, you cannot, yo. I would rather because y'all a little behind the scenes. For those who don't know, we were walking all day to the Black Hockey Summit. We were walking around in that hot Toronto sun in July, and I would take that. I would take that again than freezing. I'd rather take
I
that
know.
hot day in out in North York.
This is true. This is true. But then when it's that, I'll be like, wow, I could go for a little bit of crisp air. And then when I get the crisp air, I'm like, wow, I miss the sun. So you really, this is why I like fall. This is why I like spring because you get a little bit of both. The winters and the summers, nah, okay, nah, I'm miserable. So,
Oh goodness. Well,
oh gosh,
you know who else is miserable? The Toronto
the
Maple
Leafs.
Leafs. Yes, as we were saying in our pre-show meeting, wanting to get to that, the Leafs right now, currently time of this taping, are in dead last in the Atlantic. That's right.
Boo, boo.
It has been it has been just a mess. And you're seeing, and Marsh, you're seeing all the people who, when this year began, who were optimistic. There's no more
hmm
optimism. There's no more joy.
No,
There's none at
absolutely not.
all.
We're in the time of have a holly jolly Christmas. Everyone except for the Toronto Maple Leafs organization can have a holly jolly Christmas. For them, get it together. You can't have Christmas. You need to figure things out. I don't know what you're doing. No Christmas for you. Coal. Coal for everyone.
It was funny because I was at Canada USA and I was seeing the group chat first of all just going ballistic when the Oilers are beating down Toronto, and then they go to Nashville. Nashville beats them 5-3, and this is the least team that right now is barely above 500. And I know, Marsha, I know it's Christmas. I know we've seen teams get out of it and figure it out, but I don't know what the direction is right now. I don't know what the least direction is right now. I don't know what the direction is right now. They're struggling to get anything consistent from players not named William Nylander or John Tavares.
Yeah, and like we've said it time and time again, a team is not two people. Do they have direction? Is there a coach? Is there a coaching staff? Is there a leadership team that is not John Tavares and William Nylander? Do we have people with skates that can move along the ice and shoot the puck? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Like, quite frankly, what is going on? Do we need Troy to lace up the skates and jump on the ice? Because
At this rate,
open tryouts for the Toronto Maple Leafs at the outdoor practice come January? Because if that's what we're moving to, I really don't know because I'm just in this very very large state of confusion. Because
mhm.
as you mentioned before, there was optimism. I was one of the I don't want to say like largely optimistic. I was kind of just in a state of like, okay, I'm not getting my hopes up, but I'm not going to be like a Debbie Downer because I've seen them come back from things like this.
Yeah.
But then it just started getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, do y'all even care about what's going on? Do y'all have a plan for what's going on? And I'm here like, Mr. Pelly, are you watching your team? Mr. Mr. Barube, are you coaching your team? Mr. Trey Living, are you watching the organization? Do I need to go to Pittsburgh and call back Kyle? Because what's going on?
It's blown me away. And on the last show, I'd mentioned how there might be an idea of firing Craig Berube, and David said, "No, you can't do that. He's not the issue." But at this rate, I said last week on the show, Marsha, that's gonna be. I could see MLSC saying that's the easiest way to try and rectify things, to try and get that new coach bump, which is easy to do. But at the same time, again, the guys you brought in right now in the offseason have not done much. We saw, and we praised on the show, bringing in guys like Matthias Michelli, Dakota Joshua, and they have been ghosts in large part.
Ghost? I don't even know if ghost is the word. Because ghosts, you would at least you'd feel in passing. You'd feel the chill.
Not wrong.
You know, I really like. There's nothing. There's not even an oomph. There's no pep. There's no determination. Like I don't even know if there's frustration from anyone. And then it's going to get to a point where your William Nylander and your John Tavares are going to get tired from being overworked.
Hmm.
And these are your two people who are probably going to be Olympians,
Yeah,
or they're going to be the two people who might have to turn down being Olympians because they're thinking of their full-time job. And that's something that they might have to consider, is turning down playing for their country because of their full-time job and saying, okay, like as much as I would love to do this and this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, what do I have to prioritize?
yeah,
But I would tell them, go play for your country because your team's not doing anything to support you right now and you have a chance at winning a gold medal, so go win it.
exactly.
And that's so frustrating for me because when you look at where we were last year, like what happened? We were just drained so badly.
It is wild to see. And right now, when it comes to the playoff spots, Toronto sits 6 points back of the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference, in the wild card spot. Actually, at least they're now 1 point ahead of Columbus, so not in the basement anymore. Good for being 1 point out of last place in the entire Eastern Conference, but they're 6 points back of New Jersey for a wild card spot, and in the Atlantic, they're 6 points back of Tampa Bay for a third. But the amount of games they're dropping, Marsha, and the games they've dropped to teams also inside their conference, there's ground to make up as well.
Yeah, there's ground to make up, but will they do it? Is the question. And what will it take to get them there? You know?
Yeah.
I, and who's responsible is the other question, right? Um, the first one that will kind of be to blame.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I don't know. There's a
You know,
lot of frustrated people.
yeah, a lot of frustration, a lot of finger pointing is going to be going around this team right now in this organization, and especially when this is a team that, again, you no longer have Mitch Marner. You try and find stability again in net, and again, it ain't make or break. It's one of your make or break years once again because we know how windows to win in the NHL, especially now, don't last very long, with how things can be in flux. For the Maple
Mhm.
Leafs, this is not the year to miss the playoffs. I mean, yes, you got guys like Nylander, you've got Matthews they want to stay here, but they're on a clock. They're on a clock. Every year you don't get out of the round two or go deep. That's the black market organization.
Yeah, yeah, and we literally saw it with Edmonton just like not even 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just traded Skinner for Tristan Jari.
Yep.
No one in their right mind ever would have thought that that would have happened,
No, I said before, I thought it was gonna be Pickard, and I thought it was gonna be Kyle Pickard going and a tandem of Jari and Stu Skinner,
right?
not Jerry for Skinner.
And those are the kinds of things that show like, okay, hey, like we're in this. We're shaking things up. We're trying to figure out like what needs to happen. Like what are the dead zones of our team to make things work for those key players, to one, get them to stay, but two, to give them the energy boost that they need to keep playing in an optimal way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And looking at this and looking at the month of December here, Marsha, this Leafs team, you start the month, you win back-to-back games, you beat Florida, you beat Carolina, but then you drop a game to the Habs and you beat Tampa. Then you fall to San Jose and Edmonton. And that's a big thing. That's a big thing with Edmonton issue as well too. For Toronto is this constant state of win two, lose one, lose
Hmm.
two, win one. There's not enough momentum being maintained.
Hmm.
This team is having a hard time winning more than two games in a row.
And why is that? Are we tired? Are we injured? Or what? You see all the questions that are
Yeah.
popping up?
Hmm. Yeah, it's this team, by my count here, this team has won three games in a row just one time this season.
Wow.
When they beat Philly, Pittsburgh, and Utah. That was their only win streak of three games or more.
Avery, we're almost halfway through the season.
Like that is just it's wild because this is a year in which I mean, we're seeing Boston struggling. Tampa's had their issues. Ottawa's had their issues. This should be a year where Eastern Conference is wide open for the Leafs.
Yeah.
It's a year where you could be that new guard that goes deep with all of the other big boys struggling, like Boston, Florida, because again, age fatigue, and Leafs are failing to meet the task. They're failing to meet the moment of that open door right there.
We're gonna struggle with them. What kind of nonsense is that? Come on.
Like it's it's amazing of all years in which you could do something in which those other Eastern teams are showing their age. They're showing because again, like I mentioned, Florida, it's
Yeah.
tough to get back to a cup four times in a row, no
Hmm.
matter who you are. And you're seeing that showing with Florida. Right now, the Atlantic leaders, the top two teams, are the Red Wings and Montreal. Toronto should be there among them.
Of course. Of course. And we're wasting it.
Like
Like
those,
literally, quite literally being handed to them on a silver platter.
yeah.
Like if this was the trajectory of last year, but with the way that this season has played out, oh my God, chef's kiss, like we would be at the top of the hill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But for some reason, things aren't clicking.
No, and even the Islanders, I know they've lost three in a row, but right now they're third in Metropolitan. Even in Metropolitan, those teams that last year weren't anything or weren't really anything to watch have started figuring things out and are now are now contending for division titles. They're going to be atop of those divisions
Yeah.
when when the Islanders, even Philly, even the Flyers have a good thing going right now. When the fact
Hmm.
when the fact that the Leafs can't take advantage of that, and I just wonder at the trade deadline what's going to happen because I wonder who's going to be shipped out because this is a year in which you got to be smart about what you're going to do at trade deadline day if you're the Maple Leafs.
Yeah. And even thinking about that, like who has been in a position to really showcase themselves
That's the thing.
that they're worthy of being traded?
Like that's the thing. Like God, it's easy. Again, it's easy to say, I mean, right in on my end, it's easy to say, you got to make some trades. But what if your team wants what you have right now? That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's gonna be a position where you're like you end up giving up so many pieces for such a small return,
Hmm.
when if you were in a year where you were playing like on a good level, you probably wouldn't have had to do that.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. And oh, I cannot imagine. this fan base if this continues and his team is selling at admitting defeat. Because I mean, I already saw Steve Dangle. Steve pretty much said, you know what, this year is done. I cannot imagine if we go into February and it's basically confirmed, yeah, this year's a wash.
Wow. Yeah. I don't even know if I want to put that on my brain right now. I'm actually very surprised that going on Twitter, I haven't seen much of the chaos, all hell breaks loose.
Hmm.
Like I'm very grateful for that because I know it's out there.
Yeah.
But when it gets to that, because I know there will be people that will start bringing it up, especially as January rolls around. But it's not going to be good
No.
because this is literally like it's the Leafs literally like 10 years ago, like Leo Komarov, James
Holy
Van
smokes.
Riemsdyk. Like I feel like that's the energy that we're playing with.
That's what it appears like the days before this team got Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner back. Yeah,
Yeah.
the days of Peter Horchak running that Leafs team.
Oh,
Yikes.
what the
Those are some dark. The best deal, the funniest parts about those times was the whole waffle situation back in the end days of Ron Wilson.
oh.
Like I don't know. I think and you know, and again, at least in that era, those Leafs teams, at least Twitter. I mean, it was there, but it wasn't fully what it was yet by like
Yeah.
2016, 2017, 2018. I cannot imagine Twitter or peak Twitter in say 2012 or 2011 before this team
Yeah.
had that run in 2013.
Can you imagine? Oh, that would be so bad.
I mean, it was around and Steve was still going ballistic, but oh my gosh, Twitter
Yeah.
now with a bad Leafs team, oh my goodness. I mean, I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to see the jokes emerge and the comments come out.
Yeah.
You see it now, but man, those Leafs teams that were just garbage with today's social media, oh my goodness.
Oh dear.
It it would have been freaking hilarious, Marsha. It would have
I
been so
know.
funny. But I do and I so if this team does, if Doomsday comes and this team does move on from Craig Berube, is there someone in your mind you think that could fit in behind the bench that could be a good mid-season replacement for coaching? Do you think, Marsha?
We'd have to take him away from a team, but I've always said I wanted Jim Montgomery as our coach.
Mm.
I've always said, like before Berube came in, I
Yeah.
always said that I wanted Montgomery as our coach. And I feel like he has that headspace where he's the perfect in between. Like he has some of the old head vibes,
Yeah.
but he's young enough that he can get in the head of these players and actually connect with them.
Mm-hmm.
And he can mix the styles of play and learning and really just make a change. Um, and I feel like he would be very, very beneficial on the Leafs. And I just feel like they need to do whatever they can to get a hold of him. And he's what we need to get out of this. Um, but that's if we go coaching. So if that's if we go coaching first.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know if they will go coaching first.
That's a good question. Yeah, and right now the Blues themselves are the Blues themselves are struggling at 14, 15, 8. So we don't know what they're going to do with Montgomery as well. But yeah, he's someone who you talk to the players and staff. You're right, Marsha. He's an old school guy, but he's very much players love him. Like a
Yeah.
lot of players talk about him and they are glowing reviews about Jim Montgomery. Players
Hmm.
love him as a head coach. So he's someone I think would click really well in Toronto. I think people have put out there Bruce Boudreau is someone they would like to see in Toronto as well too. Someone who played for the
Yeah.
and someone who I think wants to get back behind the bench eventually.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, but I got one wild card for you though. I don't know if he's ready to be a head coach just yet, but he's someone who and maybe it isn't the right market for him to be a head coach, but I would love to see Joel Ward behind the bench. That's someone.
Ah, that would be nice.
Yep, that is someone who, you know what, paying his dues right now in a Vegas organization. He was in consideration for a job with the Oilers coaching staff, and he's someone who I think eventually, and he's had a lot of success in the AHL and NHL as assistant coach. I think he's going to get his crack at being NHL coach soon enough. So you want to make a splash for someone who has new ideas? Go and get Joel Ward next season.
Mhm. Think outside of the box.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm tired of this recycling nonsense that we keep trying to do because it's like the same brain cell like all over the league and like we need to not we need to not do it anymore.
Right? Oh my gosh. And speaking of new voices, Troy. Thought Troy is here in the pod. Walk in.
Hey.
I see Troy, be Mr. Johnny Walker Black walking down the street.
Well, I'm on road.
Yo.
I'm on road. I'm making my way home after a long day of work. Everybody at work was just not feeling it today. And then I had to go into
Bro.
Walmart just now and fight with a bunch of people. So I figured, let me not turn this camera on and have nobody catch me discussing somebody at Walmart.
Oh my goodness, yo, Troy's out here trying, that's joke. So Troy, we're talking about March, we're talking just now about the Leafs, and I want to ask you this one, Troy. How mad will this fan base be if this Leafs team, which is struggling in February, comes out and is just selling? How mad will this fan base be if this team is a seller come February at the trade deadline?
Well, they should be neither shocked nor surprised. This is currently a makeshift roster of plug and play pieces. I've been seeing things recently where Berube is possibly on the hot seat or that he's lost the room.
Mm.
I really don't think that's his fault because he didn't construct the roster. He didn't tell Tree to go out and get A, B, C, X, Y, and Z.
Mhm.
That's just what he got from Rich Marner. Um, in terms of who to replace him with, it's almost kind of like what Mark said. It's like it's a carousel of the same names and faces
Yep.
just going out and around. But it's like who is if you decide to sell Berube, which I don't think he deserves at this point. Not yet. He hasn't. I don't think that's his fault. Who do you pick? I mean, other than like you said, you mentioned Joel Ward, but other than that, there isn't too many names that stand out that have any kind of pro level experience that can help the Leafs climb out of this funk. The best thing you can do is try to throw together some kind of package that would make your team better. But in terms of the Leafs being sellers, the words of the trade deadline, that should not shock anybody, especially if this downside continues. Because, I mean, how do you lose to the last place team in the league with barely any effort? Like, I mean, mind you, the Luke Evangelista goal last night was pretty nice,
Mhm.
but you hate to see nice goals being scored against your team. You know, I was at a Christmas party last night, and I mean, me and one of the guys were sitting at the table. We were watching this game while we were eating our dinner,
Mhm.
watching this, and we were just like, this is embarrassing. You're losing to the last place team, next to no effort. And I mean, like when I looked at the shot count, because I started watching it halfway through the first, and it's like we're getting outshot like this already. This doesn't look good. And then they threw a stat up on the screen that said that we're second last in terms of being outshot. Like we're consistently being outshot. So this reminds me of Leaf teams of old before we drafted Matthews and Martin, where we were just getting outshot every game. We were always allowing the first goal. And then we still have this penchant for allowing last minute goals. That is something that has yet to be fixed in like 7 seasons of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I figure if maybe they can curve that, that might be the sort of, you know, figuring out everything else that's wrong with them. But I'm just a fan, just like the rest of us. But in terms of
Mhm.
how upset the fan base would be, I think that depends on how much you pay for your season ticket. It will determine what level of success you're going to be.
And I saw, speaking of that, I saw a stat that came out that this is the lowest of, like the Leaf fan, they've dipped under what? Oh, near, was it 18 120? Like they're almost out of the 18,000 fan range for the first time since before COVID hit. Like you don't see Leaf games where you're threatening to have less than 18,000 fans at a Leafs game. Like that, your fans are getting frustrated. I get that because again, you pay a lot of good money no matter where you are in the building in Scotiabank. You pay a lot of good money to see a team that is near the bottom of the Atlantic Division with what they have and what they've been preaching. And I know, Brewery probably is going to be safe for a little bit here longer. But I think if you're Brad Living, it's the disappointment. And MLSC is watching because again, there's no more Brendan Shanahan, there's no more presidency of the Leafs. Treliving is the guy for the Maple Leafs now, and Keith Pelly is above him, as we mentioned before. If you're MLSC and you're seeing this right now, Brad Treliving, maybe your seat isn't hot as GM quite yet, but I think that seat's getting a little lukewarm. I think he's starting to feel that seat start to get a tad bit spicy, if not boiling.
Oh yeah, somebody has definitely turned the heater on under his seat. They're just slowly increasing the heat level under his butt.
I mean, and not
Like
and not. Go ahead,
his seat is definitely hotter than Baruga's right now.
Troy. And not in that Taco Bell 3 a.m. I should eat in that kind of way.
No, no. That's the Leafs team as a whole in terms of soiling themselves, in terms of trying to hold leads, because that is something that they are just not good at this year.
No, they are not. And before he came on, Troy, you mentioned too how his Leafs team has struggled to win more than 3 games in a row. They've only won 3 games in a row one time this year.
That's it, just one.
Yep, just once.
Oh, that is that's a bummer. Like
Sad.
an elite
Just
team, a
sad.
team that's supposed to be elite like this, you've only put together one 3 game win streak once, and the crappier teams around you have managed to do that more than you. Not a good look, man. Not a good look. Not for a team that's supposed to be continuous Stanley Cup contenders.
Hmm.
That is that is mentally stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, they got a lot of 2 game win streaks and a lot of win one, lose one, win two, lose two, win one, lose three. Like that's been their thing. There's just no consistency in when it comes to maintain momentum after you win 2 games in a row.
I don't know where all their mojo's gone. A lot of people, I guess, would be hard pressed to say that it all went out the window with Marner to Vegas. But like you do start to see the flaws in everybody's game. You know, like you can definitely see the defensive deficiencies in almost everybody.
Hmm.
The one pickup that has impressed me is Royce.
Mm.
He is considered diminutive by NHL standards because everybody's built like a tree. But he's basically as tall as me. He's just like a shot, like a quarter inch shy of like 6 feet. So he's
Yeah.
roughly around my size. But he's still very impressive. Still plays very well. He's still got his P's and Q's about him, and he makes smart plays. Very rarely does he get caught out of position, and it's a shame that like nobody else around him really seems to want to pick up their defensive side of their game except for him.
Yeah, he's been doing what
Uh,
he. Yeah, go ahead, Troy.
from the games that I've been able to see and the bits and pieces I've been able to watch this year, just because my work schedule has been insane.
Hmm.
Outside of Stetter, I think Tavares. I think Tavares has really been the only consistent Maple Leaf for me. Nylander, yes, he is definitely out there trying, but he's gone ghost a whole lot too.
Hmm.
Nice, understandably, like he's been thrown around on different lines, so it's hard for him to find consistent chemistry with people. Um, I know he won't admit it, at least not right now, but something's off with Matthews. I think he's still playing hurt, but he just won't let on to what it is. There's no power in his strides anymore. Um, I think he's I think he's looking for somebody that's more or less on his level to be his running mate because the wingers and stuff that he gets are just like I said, it's just plug and play pieces that they hope will work to try to generate offense, but none of that's working. I think a lot of that falls on him because he's not really generating the offense either. It's just kind of hope and go kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, and Marsha, I'll ask you too. It's surprising to you how Austin Matthews has just struggled. I know Troy mentioned right there he might still be injured, but it is just jarring to see how Austin Matthews right now just cannot get his offense going.
Yeah, I agree on the injury front, 100%. Um, I'm also surprised, um, but I'm surprised on the front that we were not just like taking the L and saying like, let's figure it out and get to. I keep saying figure it out, but like, let's just get him 100%.
Hmm.
And say like, okay, we're gonna do what we have to do. But I don't even think they can do that because without him, they're just like more of nothing.
Yeah.
But like with him on the ice, they have like some sort of semblance of accountability because there are people that are complaining that like, oh, where is he? He's not here. He's so absentee. He's being a terrible captain. John is more of a captain than he is, and John's not even the captain anymore. Blah 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 blah. Because people just like saying words,
Yeah.
which is so frustrating. Um, but like if you're watching this man play and you're like, yeah, he's healthy. He's just ass. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot on the timeline. I'm seeing a lot of that. Oh, they should never give him the captaincy to Matthews. They should put it back on Tavares. I'm seeing a lot of those takes right now on social media.
And I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like clearly, John doesn't care. Otherwise, John wouldn't have given it up. We
Right?
have to remember that. Like it was John's. If he full well could have said, "Yeah, no, don't want to give up the captaincy. Sorry, that's one of my stipulations of staying here."
Hmm.
Like you got to remember this is a seasoned guy and they want him to stay, so they're going to do what he wants to keep him here, right?
It,
Especially since he has a family here, he has young children here. He wants to stay. So like he's kind of in their wheelhouse, not them like I don't know. People make no sense.
no,
So
exactly. And yeah, it's people who are in large part speaking for John Tavares because again, I don't think all we know about John Tavares is that he wants to be in Toronto.
yeah,
Doesn't matter what he's doing. He wants to be a Maple Leaf. He could have a C, an A, have nothing on his jersey. Like he doesn't care. Like that's not a thing that he's ever indicated that he really cared about having.
yeah, exactly. And I don't know like what the hate train is, but apart from it being like Mitchell is gone, they just needed someone else to fall back on.
Hmm.
So the people of this city are an interesting breed. I don't know.
They are. And I'll say going to my last point on the Leafs before we move on to our President's Trophy topic I put in the chat. I do want to say one thing that to me is just wild is we know that Joe Bowen's retiring from commentary after 44th season when this year ends, and he's still not going to every game on the road. He's still calling games from a studio. It's the man's last year on play-by-play. You should be having it all 82 games. What is this nonsense?
Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment being fun.
Ah, that
Being
is
so fun.
that that is wild to me. I know we went into the bad place with media when it came to COVID because a lot of organizations say, "Oh, we can just do our remote broadcasts." But now we've gotten
Yeah.
through it, and you're still not sending your crews on the road,
Yeah.
considering we know how broadcasts sound so much better when you're actually on location. And again,
Hmm.
the man's been news for 44 years. Send him to
Yeah.
all. Send him to all 82. Send him to
as
all
his
82.
last year. Actually, let me correct myself. Not
Mm.
MLSE. Bell. Bell. Strictly Bell.
It's
Being
wild.
weird.
Yeah. Troy, how do you feel about Joe Bowen not calling all the games on location in his last year?
That's called Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment being cheap, regardless of who owns them. Like he hasn't been on the road with them in several seasons now, and it's like how like if you don't want him as your play-by-play guy, tell him already. Like and don't yes don't pussyfoot around it. Just say you know what we're going in a different direction. This is what we expect from you. This is what's happening going forward. This is X, Y, and Z. It is nice that they're giving him his flowers on his way out, but I
Mhm.
mean, if he really meant something to your franchise, pony up, put him on the road. Why is he
Yeah.
sitting at home trying to call games on his laptop and half the game he's missing because all you're watching is gambling ads?
I mean, that's a whole different debate we can have in the show. But yeah, it's just I said it before, like for the record, active to me, when I see active players in gambling ads, it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here having active players and doing gambling ads?
But they suspended that guy for half the season.
Shane Pinto, yep.
Yup. Come on.
I it's like you you're saying yes. I mean, we already know you can't gamble on your own games, but having or you can't gamble in general in large part in different things, but to still allow active players to be in the gambling and no, shut it all down. Shut it all down. Not a single active player. I don't care who you are, if you're Matthews, McDavid, whoever. If you're still playing this league, you shall be allowed to be in a gambling ad. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be.
10 out of
No,
10, man.
definitely
You
not.
said it.
Was
Yeah.
that not a thing that they put in place after we first started seeing McDavid in these ads that no active player should be in any of these ads because of sending the wrong message? I thought they
Yeah.
tried to kibosh that.
So I believe, yeah, there's one, yeah, I believe there's one MP who was trying to make it federal law. It's still going through the House of Commons. But yeah, there is an MP who's trying to say that we should be banning ads involving celebrities in Canada for gambling ads.
Yeah, because somebody's gonna be like, "Well, Connor McDavid was doing it, so I'm just doing it, so it's his fault." It's the same guys who are blaming players when their fantasy things don't come through, right? So it's like
Yeah,
if you want to try and curb that kind of nonsensical behavior, like
no,
you shouldn't really need to get MPs involved. All you do is you just add a tiny little caveat to the CBA, and that's it.
hmm exactly, yeah, because again, whatever you want your retired guys in there, whatever, they're not playing, they're not part of teams. But yeah, like no active guy should be shilling parlays or be involved in single. Like, what are we doing here? What are we trying? What kind of message are we sending here? That we have guys who are on rosters partaking in these advertisements.
It's even
Ridiculous.
weird when the broadcast people do it. Like, even, like, not to throw in basketball, but sometimes, like, you're watching, even, like, just whether it's Sportsnet or TSN, and, like, in the middle of, like, a TV timeout or something, and
Hmm
they're like, and the DraftKings or the bet whatever picks of the thing, and then they go through, like, random picks. And I'm
Yeah,
like, this is weird.
it's very
This is
weird.
really weird. What are we doing?
Yeah, like it's not storytelling, it's not stats, it's catering something to a very certain demographic that is very niche in I mean, I understand that, yes, I understand the money that it brings in, but a lot of people don't want to gamble, don't care about it, don't see a need for it. That audience should be listened to as well, too. But oh, it is what it is. So before we wrap things up here on third intermission, I do want to ask both of you, Marsha and Troy, your thoughts on there's a tweet that Julian, our friend Julian McKenzie, put out there on Twitter, replying to his colleague Pierre LeBrun when it came to the President's Trophy. And Julian said that he feels like there should be more for winning the President's Trophy. There should be a more of a reward beyond just being home ice, getting home ice and being number one team, which I agree with. and I don't know what it could be. I mean, Julian suggested the PWHL format of that team gets picked up playoff opponent. I would love to see going back to the old school. Number one seed gets a bye to the second round, but it seems like the board of governors doesn't want to change that format. But I agree with Julian. If you're the President's Trophy winner or you're the number one seed in East or West, you should get more for being number one.
I think if you're President's Trophy winner and you get the number one seed,
Hmm.
not only should you get home ice advantage, and I'm just spitballing here off the top of my head,
Yeah.
you should kind of do it like the PWHL. Take the notes from them. You
Hmm.
get to pick your opponent, you
Yeah.
know, and you can even go outside the box and be like, hey, I want to play that team that just missed out. Forget the wild card business. You can pick anybody you want, whether you made it or not. Let them pick it.
That
Give
would be
somebody a
radical.
chance.
That would be interesting. That would be
Or,
very radical.
or as the President's Trophy winner, you can pick the playoff format. You can keep it as it is, or go 1-8.
Hmm. I mean,
I
that
think
would,
those are two little interesting caveats that you can throw in there. I mean, mind you, it screws everybody else up, but that's what you get for not finishing first.
that would be, for that team, it would be an actual reward. Yeah, you're right, sure. It would screw a lot of things up though, but that would be an actual real reward for being number one overall. That would be.
Do you mean like a P-dub style, Troy?
Yes,
Okay, okay, okay.
absolutely.
Yeah. No, I just want to clarify. I didn't like fully hear it, so I just wanted to clarify. But no, that why the hell not? Like it's you're so right. Like especially when you think of like how the Atlantic has been over the past couple of years. Like I don't think any other division in the league has been so tight and so strong. Um, that like everyone that you face is just so sucky that there isn't really a high value worth to winning what you win.
Hmm.
Um, that when you get there, it's kind of like, okay, great, yeah, I won a trophy. Now I'm gonna go face like the next best team. So what was it all for? A banner? Great. Some medal? Yeah, great. Okay, cool. For me to get eliminated in the first round or so. Um, so yeah, like he makes a fair point. Like what else is there? Like what is the benefit? Because sometimes even having home ice is nothing.
Hmm.
Because when you think of it in terms of the Leafs, okay, great, you have home ice, but then your fans that care, that have the energy, that will bring the good vibes into the arena, can't afford a damn ticket
No, not at
when
all.
the 300 levels are like minimum $400 a ticket for a playoff game.
Hmm.
What's the point of having home ice advantage?
That's the thing. That is a thing. And
Imagine, sorry, I just thought of one
go
more
ahead.
thing that would
Yeah.
probably turn everything upside down.
Uh-oh.
Imagine, if you will, the President's Trophy
Hmm.
had the power to decide everyone else's fate in the draft. Never mind how you finish. Never mind how anybody finishes. Imagine if they had the power to change everybody's fate in terms of where they draft and who they draft. Because right now, for this year's upcoming draft, they're saying Gavin McKenna, he may or may not be the consensus number one because they're saying he's not exactly lighting up the NCAA like they expected him to. So a
Hmm.
bunch of other names have now entered the chat, and we'll see. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but we're going to see these names in the next couple of weeks for the World Junior Championship.
Yeah.
So imagine now. So let's say Nashville does still finish last. They're
Hmm.
still the currently last place team, but imagine if they still finish last and let's say Gavin McKenna's number one pick.
Yeah.
And let's say Colorado wins the President's Trophy. instead of having the draft order, the draft balls, and all this nonsense, Colorado can turn and be like, you know what, Nashville? No, we're gonna give it to somebody else, or or let's say you have the somebody who least expected or something like that, or like if that's where that guy wants to go, I'd be like, no, I don't think so. You should go to like Utah, or you should go to Boston, or Columbus,
Mhm.
some lower market team to try to help boost them, as opposed to just being rewarded for finishing last.
Hmm.
Man, so it sounds in a way Troy's trying to turn the President Trophy team into Darth Vader. Like you're trying to turn them into a
Aha.
super villain. Like you're trying because the rest of the league would riot. That
My
team
true,
had that much power.
my, my true name is Black Manta for a reason. I'm trying to turn this thing upside down. The
Hmm.
whole
Yo, if
insane.
I mean
Either
I
you get
Yo, I could see violence happening if a team had that much power to affect draft stats. Yo, that would be. I mean, it would be funny. I mean, yes, it would give extra motivation to want to be number one because you wouldn't want to lose out on a player if they could affect your draft stat. That would be wild. That would be obscene.
Hmm. Hmm.
That would
Yeah.
be that would be radical. I'll admit that would be something else. But if I were to have power, so I do like the idea of picking your opponent because hey, maybe you don't want to pick the number, maybe you don't want to pick the wild card team because maybe they beat you a bunch of times. Maybe you do go for a team which is higher up, but you've beaten or you swept in the season series. That's where I
Hmm.
think would be fun to see. Say no, we're not going to pick the number 8 seed or the second wild card team. But I do think what would be fun, and they'll never do this. They'll never ever do this again. But how fun would it be if you finished number one, your number one seed, your President Trophy team winner, and you get to have all the games in the series, all the games in your building?
Um,
The ultimate advantage. Every game is in your building. You get all the home games. The team you pick gets none.
wow.
somebody's gonna be pissed. The owners are gonna be like, where's my money until rent's due?
I
I
mean,
can't pay my rent with Taylor Swift tickets. I need more money.
again, that would cause all kinds of hell. But I think that would be my advantage. That would be mine. Cause if I'm number one team, you don't get you avoid all travel. You can stay in your bed the entire series. You don't have to go
Hmm.
anywhere. Like that to me would be the ultimate. And we see before in baseball in the best of three series we've seen before where the higher seed has hosted all the games in the wild card series in baseball. So it's happened before where higher
Yeah.
seed hosts all the games, but in a best of seven format, to me that would be the ultimate test of endurance. Because what if that team upsets you by winning 4 games in a row in your building?
Right. Rip.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Imagine this. Imagine this rule. This happened back in 2019 when the Blue Jackets swept the Lightning. Could you imagine if all 4 of those games were in Tampa Bay? If this rule was in place
Hmm.
by then.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Oh my
But yeah,
gosh.
that would be mine. That would be mine. My suggestion. You win the President's Trophy, you get all the games that series in your building.
Yeah. But you know what? Like these are good ideas. Like it's something to just shake it up and to have a little bit of a different thing going on for the league. Like even looking at the thread and some of the options that people have put under here, like oh, an extra home game, or like a first round bye, or um, like what else? Same like regular season rules,
Mhm.
or um, what other like something to do with changing the points, or
Yeah.
you know the changing the reward, or I don't know, something
Yeah.
like something
Because
different.
Yeah, because again, like Julian was trying to say, like there should be more than just you finish first. Well, it's the same rules, same conditions. If you lose in the first round, it gets remembered for the wrong reasons. Like with Boston when they set the record for most points in a season, it was cool, but he lost in round one.
Yeah. Because then what else does it become,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. All it becomes is a footnote because you didn't do anything with that. It becomes
Yeah.
that's it. It's a
Yeah.
cool stab. Did you win? No.
Yeah. Or the other thing that would be really cool is like, okay, you won the President's Trophy, but the reward is you get something in the playoffs, but also you start with some sort of advantage next season.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
interesting. That's an interesting one. A next season advantage. That would be interesting. I've not heard that. That could be maybe it is. You start next year. You go into next year. You get 5 points at the start of
Mm.
the season.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a trophy that rewards you for your play during the regular season.
Yeah,
So how do we, you know, like actually reward you during the regular season if we've seen time and time again that the people who get this trophy during the playoffs are just like constantly just
yeah.
battered and beaten?
Exactly. Yeah, it's true because in hockey, any NHL teams don't partake in Champions Hockey League. There's no other tournaments you can advance to. There's nothing else you can really advance to,
Yeah.
like in soccer, like in in the Premiership in Bundesliga. Your top
Hmm.
league, you go to Champions League. We don't have that in the NHL. So yeah, they
Yeah.
got. I would like to be some reward or something that you start next year on.
Exactly.
Be it you start the year at 5 points. You're automatically ahead of everybody else to start the season. So
Yeah.
Unlimited challenges.
unlimited what, Troy?
Unlimited challenges
Unlimited,
for the first month.
we don't need games being 8 hours, eh? Yo, unlimited challenge. That's
Unlimited
wild.
challenges. Unlimited challenges, but you have to change. You absolutely need to change the amount of time you're allowed to look at something. No longer than 90 seconds. Longer than that, whatever the original call is, good.
Yo, Elsie,
Because you can't tell me going into 2026 with people doing wild things and getting caught in 4, 8, and 12K that you can't find an angle that would confirm or deny what you're challenging in the first place. You got 90 seconds. Good luck. You can't figure it out. Whatever the call is on the ice, good.
yeah, because
No,
It
that's
just
valid.
came up.
Or just like add more cameras. I don't know what to tell you. Like, why are we looking for specs?
it's it's absurd. When I see the cameras and angles that are used in the NFL, MLB, even in soccer, basketball, and when I see the officials watching angles on what's pretty much a broken Nintendo DS, are you kidding me? Are you joking me?
Making calls through PictoChat.
Yeah, and like the
8-bit Sega Genesis.
essentially. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And then
And then like we need this like puck goal line crossing technology thing. Like,
like
come on. Because I'm tired of biased refs. Oh, this was a goal, this wasn't a goal, because one corner of my eyelash thinks it crossed, but the other corner of my peripheral vision says no. And one linesman was like, maybe. But then the other one said wasn't looking because his child was in the upper levels and was making goo goo gaga. Like, come on.
it's absurd. And I know it's come out that the league has tried or experimented with chip goal line technology with the puck and crossing, but hasn't been reliable. The fact that it's 2020, almost 2026. The fact that we have not figured out how to trial this in a game or had this happen yet is come on. You mean to tell me we have not been able to figure out how to put a reliable sensor in the puck that can link up to say a referee's watch. I can buzz or I can make a sound and tell them goal or no goal.
Like in my head, it literally has to be like two two lasers One on either end of the goalpost, and the puck being the one thing to have the the ability to break the barrier of the laser. And
Yes.
then when that crosses that barrier, something on the referees, all four, both referees and both linesmen, that
Hmm.
buzzes, and then something flashes on both coaches' iPads,
Yes.
and it's a simultaneous thing. Like it has to, it's so simple.
Exactly.
It
Gotta
doesn't
be
have to be
something.
this super elaborate thing where you break the innerness of the rubber of the puck to insert like it doesn't have to be that crazy. We, we
No.
we're not in 2045. Like no.
Yeah, like you mean to tell me every other sport has had some level of figuring it out? You mean to tell me that tennis has had Hawkeye for almost over 25 years? They've had that sorted out to sort out calls from the umpire and players. But
Yeah.
hockey, the sport that people forget, hockey is one of the first sports that had consistent video replay. They had every replay back in the early 90s. You
Mhm.
mean to tell me in the 35-ish years from installation of video replay to now that we still can't figure out what a goal or a goal is?
I don't understand.
Blows me
It doesn't
away.
make sense to me. I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it. It's because they don't want it. They want the wishy-washiness of a
Yeah,
person being able to make that decision. That's the only thing that makes sense in my head.
no. It's I just find my last point here. I do find it funny how if there's a pile up in the crease, we've seen before a player can cover the puck in the crease, a player or goalie, and the officials can't determine because they can't see it. A sensor would
Mhm.
eliminate that. It would eliminate that play where a team can dive in a puck and block the view of that puck.
Mhm.
A sensor would eliminate that play because no matter what you do, if the puck is buzzing and the puck goes off, they'll know if it crossed or not. They're not blocked by the cameras.
Exactly. Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to go back to one of the question about the President's Trophy and
Yes,
what would
Troy.
their what would their superpower be more or less? Could you imagine
Uh-oh.
if they had the ability to say or overturn any decision the Department of Player Safety makes?
Oh.
This guy.
Oh. I I feel like if this impacted enforcement, you would see every team coming for Florida immediately.
Oh yeah,
Tampa, Tampa
rightfully
Bay
so.
would be out.
Like,
Tampa Bay would be first in line.
oh my, because it's the I've over the past few months here, I've pretty much seen Florida Panther players put anybody in a Lightning jersey through a table and get no punishment or
Mm,
limited punishment.
yeah,
It is wild to me how the Lightning. It doesn't matter, yo. The Panthers, and yeah, yo, Grant, yes, good team, back-to-back Cup winners. But what they've done to Tampa over the past few months is absurd, and gotten a slap on the wrist each time.
I wonder if DOPS has like a personal vendetta against someone on on the Lightning, because that's wild. Like nothing at all.
Like Brandon Hagel gets dummied, and what? Not or minimal a fine? Nothing really
Yeah,
substantial.
please. Anyone else? Anyone else? Them and their dog. A
I
million year suspension.
I don't know. And you know what? Florida embraces being that villain. Good for them. But every other market has had enough of Florida. Like every other
Yeah.
market in the league, it's like I you're seeing now other teams, or other fan bases banding together, hoping someone knocks them off this year.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact that like none of them are tried as repeat offenders is like it blows my mind.
I I I mean, on this show, we've talked about George Paris a lot on this show in terms of rulings and what he's done. But again, I just don't get. I don't understand how he is still in that role as the head of the Department of Players Safety. I
Yeah,
don't understand it.
yeah. But the question is like, who's next? Who goes there next?
Uh, I've thought before for a long time that that role should be handled by a skilled player more often. I feel that Paul Correa should be that guy if he wants it.
Mm, yeah, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, because that's someone who wants the game to be safer. No, was impacted by dirty hits in his career.
Yeah.
Had a career shortened by dirty plays, and that's someone who I think would be a great ambassador, so a great eye to know what should be called, what shouldn't be called if he wants that role.
Yeah. And would come up with a structure, I feel.
Hmm. Yep. Yep, there should be a template. It should not be. 'Cause I think we can all agree it's wild to see how a player gets 2 games and then this player gets 3 games and this player gets 1 game. Like,
It's
explain to
stocks
me,
and killings.
explain to me what your reasoning is, or explain to me, like, yeah, or like there should be a system, or
There
this is
is nothing.
this is 2 games, this is
It
four
depends
games.
on what he had for breakfast.
Essentially, Troy, I swear this man probably it feels like this man goes to a dartboard, puts a blindfold on, spins around 5 times and says, "Here we go," and fires away at the dartboard.
Pretty much. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no consistency. He just looks at it and he goes, "Yeah, this number seems."
Mm.
And I really feel like he is biased because I mean, like we're all saying, like they're consistently inconsistent,
Mm.
and there needs to be a little more of an explanation as to why player A can do the exact same thing as player B, but player B gets the worst punishment out of the two.
No, it is just silly. But with that being said, we're gonna wrap things up here on third intermission. Gotta thank Troy and Marsha for being in the cut here. We'll be back next week with more to come. I'm Avery, and as always, mind your business, drink your water, and thank you for allowing us a great space in between your head top. We are out of here. Juices.
Mm.
Later.